Hello everyone and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today we are diving deep into a powerful and frankly audacious message from none other than Pastor Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. In a recent sermon, Pastor Adeboye sent passionate, almost prophetic piece of advice to the Nigerian government urging swift and strategic action against escalating insecurity. What is truly sending shockwaves isn't his stark warning about potential Trump evasion, which all of us know. If the killings of Christians in Nigeria are not decisively addressed, his words are direct challenge, blending spiritual guidance with a strong geopolitical warning. Get ready because this is a conversation Nigerians need to have. So sit back and take a watch.
I will say quietly to our government, move fast. Move diplomatically. Move wisely. Find a way to convince the President of America to please delay his actions for about 100 days. And then come home and tell our security chiefs get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign. Now that I'm sure will sound familiar to those of you who have been following situation in Nigeria. There was a president, unfortunately, he's dead now, as Buhari, who issued such an order. Some of you will remember. Who called the service chief together and said, I give you 3 months. Get rid of all these Boko Haram people or resign. He's not around to tell you who gave him that advice. He ran with that advice, but he didn't follow it through. Because he gave the order as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But, the security operatives moved fast. But 3 months went, and the work was not done. So I went to see him. It was in the news, so this time somehow the press got to know that I visited him. Of course, they were not there when we talked. And unfortunately, like I said, is not alive now, or else I would have asked you to go and ask him. Sir, why didn't you follow through? Because when 3 months passed and the work wasn't done, why didn't you proceed with your, are we going to call it threat? I won't tell you the details, but one thing came out of that meeting. Which would lead me to my next advice to our government. In case there's any of you who can get across to them. That when giving orders to the service chief this time round, we should make it clear to them that they are not only to eliminate the terrorists, they should eliminate their sponsors. No matter how influential they may be. When I say my people, when I say our leaders should move fast, move diplomatically, they have to be and move wisely. We must take note of the fact that if America should attack us, China is not coming to defend us. Russia will not come to defend us. All the so-called world leaders, they will talk. They will condemn what America had done in strongest terms. But that's all they will do. That's all. Britain is not going to come and help us. No foreign or no other foreign powers will come to our aid. This is not the time for joking. This is not the time for grammar. This is not the time for, I don't know a simple word for semantics. It's not the time when you begin to argue. Is it, what do you call it? Suicide, or what do they call it? What's the language? Whatever they want to call it. And this is not the time for saying, it's not Christian alone. Muslims are also involved. The point is, people are dying. Innocent people are dying. I almost spoke last month, when I heard the speech of my in-law, the president. When I heard the speech, particularly that section that spoke about security, and you can go and listen to it again, where I heard him say, all is well now, that displaced people have returned to their villages, and I almost said, the one who wrote that speech for my president, my in-law, does not like him. And if you want to say, what do you mean? Somebody wrote it, but it's the president who read it. Didn't he read it before he read it? Well, if you put it that way, then my conclusion will be there are several people around my beloved in-law who are not telling him the truth. But that's all right, because I think the following day in the newspapers we read about a traditional ruler being killed, whether in Kwara or Kogi, while the wife was hiding somewhere in the house. But it's not the time for apportioning blames. Our president inherited this problem. It started before him. And in any case, I am an applied mathematician. I am more interested in just get the problem solved. That's all. Let's let the government use diplomatic method to convince President Trump to give us 100 days of grace. Call our service chiefs. Fortunately, they are new. Perform within 3 months or resign. Now, where do you come in? You want to ask me, Daddy, you want to tell us you had no idea that something like this is coming? Well, I've told you I'm not a prophet. I only hear from God once in a while. But do you think I asked you to fast for 100 days for fun? Didn't I share with you, my children, didn't I share with you that God says this will be a remarkable year? Didn't I share with you that God said that the wind that was blowing last year, that started blowing last year, is going to become a bit more violent this year. Did I tell you? Well, you know, each time we have a meeting like this, I'm not the one who chooses the theme. It's God. Whatever he asks me to talk on, that's what I talk on. Now, concerning what we are still discussing, by this time next week, we will be having a Holy Ghost service in Abuja. And when we were asking God what will be the theme, he gave us the theme, fear not. That's months ago, before Trump spoke. And anybody who knows the Bible knows that the only time God will say fear not is when there's something to fear. So, when I put all these things together, I know in this year that God says will be remarkable. One way or the other, there will be peace again in Nigeria. But why do I ask my government to move fast? See, all these years, we have been praying for Nigeria. We can't pray all these prayers without something happening. Unless God is no longer on his throne, and is on his throne. And you see,
that was a truly powerful and undeniably controversial message from Pastor E.A. Adeboye. What we've just witnessed isn't just a sermon, it is a direct, unvarnished piece of counsel, a rallying cry and a stern warning to the Nigerian government regarding the dire state of insecurity.
Law of motion. You know what he says? He says, a body will remain at rest or maintain uniform motion in a straight line, except an external force compels it to do otherwise. That's Newton's law of motion. Meaning, whatever method God wants to use, at the end of it all, there will be peace in Nigeria again. And to you, my children, Daddy says, fear not.
That was a truly powerful and undeniably controversial message from Pastor E.A. Adeboye. What we've just witnessed isn't just a sermon, it is a direct, unvarnished piece of counsel, a rallying cry and a stern warning to the Nigerian government regarding the dire state of insecurity, particularly the incessant killings affecting Christian communities. So, let us break down the critical aspect of Daddy Gio's address. First, his directives to the government to move fast, move diplomatically, move wisely, speak volumes about the perceived sluggishness and the ineffectiveness of current approaches. It implies that the solution offered so far have been anything but fast, diplomatic or wise. The context here is crucial. For years, Nigeria has grappled with insurgency from groups like Boko Haram, rampant banditry, and the devastating farmer-herder clashes, which have disproportionately claimed innocent lives, often targeting Christian villages and communities. Then, there's this extraordinary call to find a way to convince the President of America to delay his actions for about 100 days. This is truly a striking statement. On the surface, it sounds like a plea for time and acknowledgement of Nigeria's vulnerability to potential external pressure or invasion. Pastor Adeboye's direct reference to President Trump is incredibly specific and loaded. It evokes a certain political style, direct, decisive, and unafraid of intervention. Is Pastor Adeboye suggesting that without internal actions, external factors, specifically from the US president, might be compelled to step in? And if so, what does that say about the perceived capabilities and will of the Nigerian state? It is a rhetorical hand grenade designed to shake the government into action by presenting a powerful, almost unthinkable alternative. His subsequent ultimatum to the security chiefs to get rid of these terrorists within 90 days or resign is equally potent. This isn't just a suggestion, it is a demand for accountability and demonstrable results. He recalls a past president, that is Buhari, who allegedly failed to follow similar advice, highlighting a pattern of inaction or insufficient action. This public challenge to the military and security apparatus underscores a powerful loss of faith among some segments of the population in their ability or willingness to protect citizens. The implication is clear. If you cannot do your job effectively, then step aside. Perhaps the most sobering parts of his message is the assertion that China is not coming, Russia will not come to defend us. All the so-called world powers or leaders, they will talk. They will condemn what America had done in strong terms, but that's all they will do. Oh, this statement shatters any illusion that external powers will swoop in to solve Nigeria's internal security crisis. It is a harsh dose of reality, emphasizing self-reliance and the urgent need for Nigeria to take over ownership of its problems. It dismisses the common narrative of international saviors and places the onus squarely on the shoulders of Nigerian leadership. Pastor Adeboye then draws a parallel to Newton's law of motion, stating that a body will remain at rest or maintain uniform motion in a straight line except an external force compels it to do otherwise. This is a profound analogy. It suggests that the current state of insecurity or the government response to it will not change unless a significant compelling external force is applied. This external force could be interpreted in multiple ways. It could be the collective will of people, international pressure, or even divine intervention working through human agents. Regardless, it called for a dramatic shift from the status quo. Finally, while issuing this dire warning and demand, he also reiterates God's message. Fear not, this isn't a contradiction but rather a spiritual grounding. It is a call to trust in divine providence even amidst overwhelming challenges, urging faith in the face of fear. Yet, it is also a subtle challenge. Fear not, but act. God might be on his throne, but human leaders also have a responsibility to act decisively and justly. He is effectively saying that faith without work is dead, and the government must act on behalf of the people of God has promised to protect. This entire address from Pastor Adeboye is a stark reminder that religious leaders in Nigeria often plays a dual role, spiritual guide and societal conscience. His words are meant to provoke, to challenge, and ultimately to instigate change in the nation's desperate for peace and security. So, what do you make of Pastor Adeboye's powerful message? Is it a timely intervention or daring warning that could steer Nigeria's leadership into decisive action, or is it an overstep into political matters? The stakes, as he clearly articulated, are incredibly high, with innocent lives hanging in the balance. The urgency in his voice is palpable, reflecting the deep anguish felt by many Nigerians. We have explored the depth of his counsel, from the strategic advice to the stark warning about international reactions, all underscores by a powerful call for accountability and divine peace. The question remains, will the Nigerian government heed this passionate plea? Will the nation continue on trajectory that Pastor Adeboye fears could lead to even greater turmoil? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with his approach? What impact do you think this message will have? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Oba's Trending Gist for more compelling analysis and discussion. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.